Okay, so good morning and welcome to the Training Tuesday offered by the Chief Procurement Office for General Services. First, we're going to go over our agenda for today. We've got our updates and reminders. We'll go over our important CPO-GS resources, highlight additional training opportunities, and end things with our Spotlight Illinois. We want to give a big thank you to the Bid Buy team for a successful upgrade on Friday. Great work, everyone. We'll be sending out a document highlighting the new features in version 19 following this session. Reminder that the end of the fiscal year falls on June 28th, and that is a Friday. So let's talk about resources. The CPOGS website is full of useful information and resources. Today, I'll be pointing out some key elements. First, we have our CPOGS Training Center. Here you'll find our Training Tuesdays, our Bid Buy training, and our Procurement training. On our Training Tuesdays webpage, we have the link used to attend our Training Tuesdays. This link stays the same, and we meet every Tuesday at 9 a.m. We also provide a searchable repository for all of our past Training Tuesdays. The trainings are in date order, and both the video and the accompanying slides are available. You can search by date or topic. For example, if a colleague recommends watching a Training Tuesday from a specific date, you can filter the table to that date. Or if you're interested in learning more about the small purchase process, for instance, you can search by that topic. On our CPOGS website, we also have our Bid Buy training page. There are 3 different sections on the training page. We have our monthly Bid Buy practice sessions, which happen the second Thursday of each month. These begin at 9 a.m. and don't have a specific agenda. They're like open office hours for questions you have about Bid Buy. We have 2 on-demand videos in the General Navigation section, one on Bid Buy General Navigation and one on ad hoc reporting. Learning how to run ad hoc reports can help you keep track of expiring contracts and more. And we have our monthly Bid Buy training. Here we provide the agenda and link for attendance. These trainings occur on the second Wednesday of each month, and you don't need to register. In the Training Center, we also have our procurement training. We currently offer one instructor-led course called Introduction to Illinois Procurement. Our next course is on June 5th, and registration is required. Additionally, we have an on-demand RFP template and commitment to diversity training that you can refer to anytime. At the bottom of the CPOGS website, you'll find additional resources. In Meet the Team, we have a full staff directory along with a PDF showing which SPO is assigned to each agency. In Procurement Opportunities, we direct the public to Bid Buy. Suspensions, debarments, voluntary exclusions, and voluntary non-participation agreements will show any vendors who are unable to respond to solicitations as a responsible bidder or offerer. Let's go more into depth on the ones that I haven't mentioned yet. This icon is the Bid Buy hand. By clicking on this icon, you'll be directed to the Bid Buy landing page, which has resources for both vendors and state agencies. For state agencies, you'll see the link to our ever-important job aids. Please note that we routinely update the job aids, so it's important that you use the job aids linked from this section as they are the most up-to-date. Here you'll also find our Bid Buy registration page. And please recall that per CPO Notice 2024.04, you must take the Diversity and Inclusion training to receive Bid Buy access, and this is an annual training. We also have Bid Buy specific training and standard FAQs for Bid Buy. One of our most utilized icons is the Procurement Resource Library. Here we have resources for vendors, training materials, CPO notices and memos, solicitation and contract templates and forms. This is where you're going to find the small business set-aside waiver, the IFB and RFP templates, procurement justification forms, and more. You'll also find the Procurement Bulletin and Procurement Gateway Access Request Form, and additionally, you'll find the BEP waivers and exemptions. We also have the Small Business Set-Aside Program icon, which is going to provide general information about the program, instruct small businesses on how to begin the registration process, and it provides the SB/SP Set-Aside Commodity Code list. We've covered this in many different trainings. This is the list of NIGP codes set aside for small businesses, whether above or below the small purchase threshold. Make sure to reference this list when creating your procurements. Here you'll see the icon for the Unified Procurement Program, UP. This is where you'll find the processes and resources for state agencies, the resources for governmental units, including Illinois municipalities, and qualified nonprofit agencies. You'll also find cooperative and consortiums approved for use. Next, we have the icon for our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion section. The FAQs are great for state personnel that are attempting to understand how to review the documentation, where to find certain information, and other frequent questions that have been asked and answered. The Resources section provides information to vendors on how to provide information when responding to the Commitment to Diversity vendor answer form. It's great to reference this section, especially if you're having a pre-bid conference. The Guidance section provides the Commitment to Diversity vendor answer form and several other important documents and references for state employees and vendors. C2D definitions provides guidance that are used frequently in definitions used frequently in the guidance and discussion surrounding commitment to diversity. We've had a lot of questions regarding commitment to diversity, so I'd like to provide a brief overview. Per 30 ILCS 520-15, RFPs are required to include commitment to diversity, that is 20% of the technical score. Please note that the RFP is divided into 3 sections: technical, C2D, and price. Technical is comprised of the offeror's technical proposal, so all of the desirables that are being scored. If references or demos are part of your RFP, the points for those would also be included in the technical score. C2D must be 20% of the technical score. So if the agency had a RFP worth 100 technical points, the C2D points would be 20 points. The pricing points should be no less than 20% of the technical and C2D combined points. You can think of it as building on each section. Here are some other important websites: BidBuy, our e-procurement system, the Illinois Procurement Gateway, which includes the Registered Vendor Directory, the Procurement Policy Board, which is important for communications reporting. Always make sure to ask your agency ethics officer if you're not sure whether a communication needs to be reported. And we have the Commission on Equity and Inclusion. The compliance section on their website contains information on goal setting. We hope you found this session highlighting our resources useful. Again, our training center has information on our instructor-led course, which is the Introduction to Illinois Procurement. It will be held on June 5th. This course is intended for state of Illinois procurement employees that have not previously taken the course, and you must register to attend. Our Bid Buy monthly training will be held on May 8th, and our Bid Buy practice session will be on May 9th. Now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague Latanya to introduce our Spotlight Illinois.
Thank you. Welcome to the village of Bartlett. The village of Bartlett hosts a population of just over 41,000 residents. Some key people from the village of Bartlett include Vincent Enrique Hinostroza, who was an American professional ice hockey forward for the National Hockey League. He has previously played for the Chicago Blackhawks, Arizona Coyotes, Florida Panthers, and Buffalo Sabres. It also was home to Eric Palmer Kumaro, who was a former NFL linebacker who played for the Miami Dolphins and Chicago Bears. His son, Jake Anthony Kumaro, was a former wide receiver who played for the Bengals, Patriots, Packers, Saints, and Bills. He earned the nickname of Touchdown Jesus due to his long hair and thick beard. Some draws to the village include the Bartlett Depot Museum, which retains its original railroad station. This museum features a changing array of interactive exhibits informing you about local railroading heritage. It also includes the Havali Cultural Center, which attracts many visitors of all faiths and sits adjacent to the largest traditional Hindu mandir of stone and marble to be constructed in the United States. An interesting fact for this area is that Bartlett had one of the largest Little League programs in the United States, managed under one board with over 1,000 participants in the mid 1990s through the early 2010s. Thank you, and that concludes our Spotlight Illinois.
Thanks so much, Latanya. It sounds like sports are in the water there in Bartlett. Well, if you have any questions, please send those over to the cpogs.training@illinois.gov email account. And thank you so much for attending, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great day.